Right now, though, let's dive into this topic here. Today, we want to discuss, can a relationship recover from cheating, or can it go back to normal after cheating? And that's a, I don't know. I don't know if there's a straightforward answer to that question, Benjamin. I mean, I think there's an element of the relationship recovering from cheating. But whether it goes back to normal, I'm not so sure. What would you say?
What used to be there before the cheating cannot be recovered. You can just build a new relationship. And in many cases, if you're mature and dedicated to each other, you can build something stronger than what was there before.
Right.
Affairs don't happen because of the same causes. Couples, when they marry, they go through 4 stages. The first stage is called forming. When you come together, it's forming. There's a lot of romance, chemistry. It's just after the wedding. Sometimes you call it a honeymoon phase. And then there's another stage called storming. When you begin to see the weaknesses of the other person, when reality begins to hit, when they're no longer pursuing you as they used to, when business comes in, when child comes in, when life begins to push you forward, when the demands of life come, and it's no longer about romance now, but duties. And some people say you're very busy during the wooing because that's campaign time. But after you're elected, you start working on the projects. So you're no longer focusing on campaigning. Yeah. So now the storming stage is where there's disappointment. There's an element that brings affairs, which I want to highlight here.
Okay.
Many people have a model of love. We get our models of love from our caregivers, from our parents, how they treated each other and how they treated us. We formed some defaults and expectations about love. We said last time that love is, yes, a feeling, it's a commitment, but it's more a concept. How you define it and what you expect from it is what you bring into the relationship. So if your parents were there for each other, if they were caring, that's what you would expect. The other person will be carrying another 40 model where they are contented not to receive or to give anything. Or they saw the father figure maybe receiving or the mother figure being domineering. That's what they have. So that illusion, that 40 model you had of love will be now tested against reality and you'll be very disappointed. Now you transfer your feelings to another person thinking that's whom you love. Remember, women are more likely to justify an affair when they love that other person. Okay. Men are likely to justify an affair when they don't love that other woman.
Their own wife?
No. The person they're cheating on with.
They'll justify that one?
Yes. So we are saying the two of them, that's partner. The other person is a lover.
Yes.
So a man can say, I slept with her, but I don't love her.
Oh, so that's how he's justifying
it. A woman says, okay, I slept with him, but I really love him.
Got you.
So, remember we are saying that storming stage is that's where affairs mostly happen. Because people are coming to reality now. Remember, many people expect love to be constant. How they felt when they came in will go on like that. In reality, love is not a cruise. It's a ride, and sometimes it's bumpy. Sometimes there are twists and turns. Some places are uncomfortable. Other people don't know that in the person you love, there are parts about them you hate.
True.
There are things about them you don't like. And some are not changeable. So some people who are children at life do not accommodate those inconsistencies and stay meaningfully connected.
Right.
After storming stage, if they resolve many people won't go to affair. And remember, affairs are defined by the people. Some people taking another person for lunch is an affair. Kissing another person is an affair. Hugging another person is an affair. Calling absentee is an affair. So it's not just about sex.
Yeah.
What constitutes breach of trust is what we are calling affair. The breach of trust. Where are the boundaries of trust? There are some people who relate easily and they can use those pet names out there with their friends. But there's another person, the moment you use it, especially the proper country church girls.
Why are you staring? Why is there a pause when you're staring at me?
You're not country guy.
Thank you. I'm not actually. I'm a city girl. But
country girls are very conservative. The values there, even using the word dear. You can be forced to repent and fast for 7 days and give atonement offering for calling another person dear.
Oh, no.
So, it will be defined by the people's culture.
Yeah.
So don't ask them, get over it. If it was just a kiss, that happens every day. Never tell a person that.
Those are bad friends.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
So what happens is, and remember we are telling the offending partner, the offending, the hurting partner, and the cheating partner. The one who was cheated, we are telling them, you don't hurt a person and decide how soon they should get over it.
Right.
Because after it happens, I already said sorry, you should get over it. You don't forgive.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between forgiving and healing.
Yes,
So whether they will recover from it would be determined by whether they'll go to the next phase. After storming, there's another stage called norming. Norming is when they decide this is still worth working for. We are going to, and if the person who violated the cheating partner is willing to correct and work on it, and they're willing, I'm willing to tell you what happened and what led me there. Because you who was cheated on, you're wondering what went wrong and how am I sure it will not go wrong again?
Yeah.
You must be willing to show me what made you stray. And sometimes, actually, it's not justified, but sometimes it's frustrations they took the wrong way. They were actually angry. And an angry person cannot be sorry. Those two emotions are incompatible. Guilt, feeling remorse, oh, I hurt you, and feeling, you've done something to me, they're incompatible.
Right.
So sometimes after it happens, let there be communication.
Okay.
Let them vent their anger.
Okay. Wow. Well, we need to take a break now. I think we've already covered some of the different ways people cheat. And I like how you've said it's about a breach of trust. Okay.
Yeah.
So, to those out there who keep saying at you, all men, whatever, like you, if that's what you've chosen to accept, you do you. But don't, classify that as everybody and don't expect other people to be okay with it as well. And this is why also when you date, it's very important to communicate these things while you're dating.
And we are going to say the conditions. A person who can't profess belief in monogamy, they won't be faithful.
Okay. Yeah. We're not holding back today. Okay. So that's coming up next. And I especially want to ask, if someone cheats one time, Amerudi, they've apologized profusely, they cheat a second time and they cheat a third time. Like, at what point do you say enough is enough and I'm done with this? Okay, so 22999 is the SMS line. Please send in your questions and your feedback as well, and we'll be back after this. Hey guys, welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce. Carrying on with our conversation here this morning on, can a relationship sort of recover or get back to normal after cheating? And we've already established that there's a difference between recovering from the relationship and things going back to normal. And it is possible for some for their relationships to recover, but maybe the expectation that things will go back to the way they were, is a little out there. Your relationship obviously has been changed. You need to rebuild your walls of trust and everything like that. And so, Benjamin, maybe we can carry on from there and you can share with us your second point before we get to some
So we
SMS
said the first
questions.
stage is forming when you come together. The second stage is usually storming. Storming, cheating does not always occur. We are saying it's just friction. But in many cases, that's where cheating occurs. The other stage is called norming, when you redefine the relationship and find depth. Now, if cheating had occurred, you, the offending partner who cheated, don't expect the other person to recover at your pace. Trust is won. It's not given. Don't ask her or him, trust me. Trust me. You must prove yourself over time. Remember, you're going to have to demonstrate your consistency now. This person might behave paranoid. They might check your phone, check your movements, because that's how you behaved last time. They trusted you and you dropped the ball. They may not until you demonstrate. Many times people renegotiate the new order now. The last stage is called performing. If you manage to redefine the relationship, meet each other's needs better now. In fact, one of the beliefs that every obstacle contains an opportunity is that if something like that happens, use it. Don't let the crisis go to waste. Use it to deepen your relationship, to understand each other better. And remember, after cheating, several things could happen. The one who was hurt could go through depression and the trauma and anxiety and sleeplessness and paranoia and panic attacks. That's normal. It's very traumatizing, and many people might lose faith in the order of the world. They might begin to believe that even when you are nice, you'll be kicked in the face. They might begin to even question, where was God? Where was church? What is faith all about? Especially people who are very loyal. They expect the same level of loyalty back. And when it is broken, you're the one who hurt them. You are impatient to get over this. And you got to build another thing. The future is bright.
Let's move on. Yes, the future is bright.
The one who went out is likely to. There's another case in which you should not try to rebuild the relationship. If the one who offended is cold and has contempt.
And what about when they cheat just repeatedly?
Let's go to this. Thank you. In fact, a person is cheating repeatedly. It could insinuate a habit now, not a mistake.
But they say sorry nicely. Very nice.
Remember saying apology is not the words you say, but the behavior you demonstrate after the apology.
Yeah.
And I want to ask people to stop believing words too much. Words are just bags of hot air and anybody can say it. But again, you must tell me the words. Without the words, what will I measure you against? So we are saying words are very important. Don't say
promised.
yes.
Now do.
Thank you. I want the promise, then you give them a chance to demonstrate. If they break it a second time, you can know they break it a third time. And they can get used to it. Remember, we are saying it's not just emotions at stake here. When there is going out, there's health. Somebody could bring diseases, and remember the following: a person who does not value you, and there's a particular kind of cheating I don't want women to especially accommodate. A man who cheats with your house help is not just cheating. It's disrespecting you. That's your servant. And it's giving that servant the chance to view you, to disrespect you and devalue you and spread name out there and even insult you. So there are several kinds of, some of them are purely contemptuous, as if they are hitting you.
Okay.
We are not saying there is a cheating that is good, but we are saying others are just blatant disrespect. Okay. And we are saying if you can push forward and the person is apologetic and they are sorry and they actually invite you to their lives to help them and you can see their meaning, they're putting effort, that now is a chance to rebuild a good relationship.
Okay. Let me get to our questions here. We have a lot of feedback. Someone here is saying, hey Joyce, I'm Joyce from Kahawa West, and you say, my perspective of cheating is that if someone cheats on you for the first time, it won't be easy for him to stop it. It's just like a man who beats up a lady. That character never ends. So for me, I think if it happens once, the second time I leave, although it will be hard to trust him after the first time. And it's very interesting, the parallel she's drawn to, physical abuse. And I know a lot of ladies say that, the first time you hit me, that's it. So
those things come from very different things. Physical hitting is very different. By the time you hit a person physically, you have crossed too many boundaries to even go back to them. But cheating for me is sometimes coming from different things. The model of love this person had, the needs they're feeling they're not being met, they're angry with their partner, they think the lover is better. Or some people cheat with their exes. They did not close doors after they moved on with the past lover. So when they caught up again, they got carried away by emotions.
Wow. Someone here is saying he cheated and then denied it. I did my research. Mtu akatafuta receipts and got to know it was his ex. I confronted the ex and she sent me pictorial evidence of her presence in the house with him. And I sent it to him. Then he started speaking in tongues. Wololo. Anyway, I forgave him, but it has never been the same. I am always too insecure. I even overreact over small issues. Second, he's always calling, it sounds like she stayed with him then. Second, he's always calling every lady babe. I'm planning on having a talk with him and quit for my sanity too. Even that talk is generous in my opinion. But
what was he speaking in tongues? Was he apologizing in tongues? And I want people to be careful with religiosity. Those people hide behind religion to avoid the responsibility. You need to speak. When you are cheating, why are you cheating in tongues? You don't come to speak to me in tongues. Can you confront the issue? So this lady should stop tolerating disrespect.
But okay, let's talk about this one. I know you said, everybody has like their threshold, but surely calling every lady babe.
Okay.
As in?
The language, the context matters. I don't justify it. That's not a word you want to use on every woman because it loses meaning even when you call it on your woman. Will it have any different meaning?
Yeah.
So we are saying there are words, but I think baby is a little bit too far.
A little? Much too far.
Okay, much too far. So I'm saying because relationships vary.
Yeah.
They know each other. That is a violation. They both know.
Watu wanacheza huku nje. Anyway, let me see. Someone here says, if you love someone, you can forgive them. But if they continue cheating on you, you cannot forgive. But true love forgives and forgets. But Joyce, you can't stay in a relationship where you will be forgiving all the time and the person is not changing. That should be enough. That's Lady Rose Wanjiku from Embakasi East. Someone here says, this topic is somehow complicated. First of all, once a cheater, always a cheater, but we are again convinced that we should give second chances. But to me, it's a no. Kwani hakujua kona bibi au bwana. Some things are hard to forgive and forget. To me, it's a no, Aki. That's Milka from Oyole. And there's someone here who asked, can a cheater ever change? That's Sarah from Karatina. So relating both of those questions, One says asking if a cheater can change, and then we always hear this adage: once a cheater, always a cheater.
Let's remember that people can actually change. Remember we said some people are processing unfinished business from their childhood. They have a lot of trauma and they have a lot of love they lacked. And they can get so confused and think the person out there will provide it. So let's genuinely give a person the chance to change. The chance to change. Forgiving does not mean trusting again. Forgiving, God asks you to forgive. But to rebuild the relationship is whether the person will prove that they have changed. So let's give people chances.
Okay. Very interesting question here. Hey, Joyce, how can you start building a relationship where you've been separate for a while, and in this period the partner cheated and don't take what they've done seriously and have not even apologized for the action, and now you want to get back together? So it sounds like there was a bridge in the relationship, a gap in the relationship. Does that count as cheating then?
I also think the context there is very different. Were they saying we are separating and we will come back? Or the separation was open-ended? So I think more conversation is required there.
So when, for example, let's make this concrete and say, if people say we want to, which I don't understand and I would never do, someone says that let's take a break. That's to me, but they're like, bye, deuces.
You know?
But, if, for example, that's what they had said, let's take a break.
They should also tell whether when they're taking the break, somebody can find their sexual needs met out there.
Okay.
They should also because I also don't understand, your heart does not know how to play games. You can't tell your heart we are breaking only for a period. So will I continue holding you or release you?
Yeah.
Some things you say don't make sense.
Yeah.
Especially if in a relationship you keep taking break. Can you stop that game?
Tuachane na tu telenovela sana.
That is yes.
Yeah.
There's no point. Your emotions can't play games. Let's detach for a while. We'll retach. What is that? No.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And even the fact that if that's sort of the attitude you go into your relationship with, you create exit points. And so what happens then? Are you going to be saying, let's take a break in marriage too? Like, come
That's
on.
a question.
Because remember, dating is supposed to be preparing you for that longer term journey.
And remember we said commitment is going in for the worse, for the good,
Yes.
for everything. We are there. As long as
For
we are
better,
alive,
for worse.
we are in it. For as
Till
long as
death.
we are alive, we are in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
no such thing as taking a break.
Well, Shiko says, nawatazama nikiwa madhare, Aki, my husband cheated on me, and what I felt for him is normal. I even avoid him in so many ways because when I see him, mimi huona ugonjwa and many more. Aya, okay. Edwin from Riruta says, hey Joyce, I don't think a relationship can recover after cheating because there's lack of trust, and trust is the mother of the relationship. So if you keep on doubting the partner, what the partner is doing the right thing, I guess if the partner is doing the right thing at the right time. Someone here says, loyalty is a choice and there's no excuse to cheating. I actually hate it that society has justified cheating in men because of hormones. But if someone cheats on me, I will leave. Yes, but I will try to find out why. Someone here says, good morning, Joyce. Say hi to Benjamin.
Hi.
Men cheat for sex and women cheat for love. When the man cheats, things will be normal after, but when a woman cheats, the relationship will break. Well, that's a very loaded statement. What do you think about that? When a man cheats, things will be back to normal, but when a woman cheats, the relationship breaks. And that's Laura Cheshari from Garden City Mall. Thank you for that question. I think there's something here she's alluding to, which is again one of these societal things that we hear. That somehow men are able to find their graces back in the relationship that they were originally supposed to be in. But when a woman cheats, I mean, let me use English, she will be unasema anikwad, how in English, like she will just be exposed. Exactly, she'll be exposed all over the place. She'll now be degraded. So I think she's pointing to a difference of standard as far as how cheating is treated between men and women.
You see, even polygamy is more permitted for men. The bigamy, we don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Few people know the word bigamy.
Yeah.
We just know polygamy. And we are saying it's an imbalance in society. And it is one that says that allowing men, because society has been patriarchal for long, the men have been writing the rules. It's the men who have been writing the rules, so they gave themselves more room to maneuver. And even when you read the Bible Old Testament, it was the men who had many wives. You don't have a woman who had many husbands. So sometimes that same thing of straying and men straying, and even some women will tell you, even if he has another woman, but as long as he comes home to you, he is still yours. Just tolerate it.
By the way, if you have such friends in your life, like, you need to just put them in a different WhatsApp group. The ones that you don't talk to frequently.
That's true.
That is so toxic. It's
You know-
not, and it's not okay.
And I want to ask ladies to set a standard for them. You know, sometimes a man
Absolutely.
will behave according to what you require him
Absolutely.
to do for him to remain in your life.
Yeah. And I think, ladies, also, we need to get to a point where we value ourselves first. Too many of us are out here waiting for someone else to come and validate us, which is why you accept so much nonsense.
And he will subscribe how he can treat you.
Exactly.
He will describe and set the rules.
Yeah.
It's you to set the standard.
Men actually honor a woman who is confident and has her marks and her boundaries.
Paradoxically, you become more attractive. You just become more attractive when you look like your standards are up here.
Yeah.
And the man will measure up
Yeah.
when he knows that's your standard. So I think we are saying, let the lady decide herself, this is what I am worth, this is what I will take. A person who does not value you cannot love you.
Yeah.
They cannot love you if they don't. By the time a person reaches a point of disrespecting you outrightly, taking you through such pain deliberately,
Yeah.
you
it's
shouldn't
done.
take it.
It's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Someone here is saying, hey, Joyce, is flirting cheating? My husband flirts with every lady, especially kwa WhatsApp yake. I consider flirting as cheating. That's Mbia from Eldoret.
We can have emotional infidelity, even without sexual infidelity.
Sometimes people say that's even worse than, some ladies say it's even worse than physical.
We say it's so hurtful
Yeah.
that it should not be minimized. I want to ask that lady to address that in
Yeah.
the context of her relationship with
Because
him.
she considers, and the fact that you've said you consider it as cheating.
Yeah, you should go ahead and address it, because I also wonder if they keep talking those things, how do you know how far they go when they meet physically? Sometimes the emotional cheating is what leads to physical cheating, you know, because you don't know where they stopped. So it's about setting the boundaries and not. I think it goes on because she condones it.
Wow.
It is going on because she's condoning it.
Where?
Don't let your man think there's nothing you can do. Never let anybody think now they possess you. Never let anybody think they are your God, that you worship the ground they walk on. No. By the age, why would you worship God and also worship a person?
Yeah.
What's the point? You need to have this kind of standard, saying, I bow before God, but before people, we have reciprocity. I expect something as I give you something.
Right.
We have a mutual understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone here says, cheating, hapana, that thing really hurts. It lowers one's self-esteem. You keep asking yourself what you did wrong. A man who respects you would never think of that. If he should make you the lady, or he should make you the lady he admires out there, and they say cheating is a no. That's Tina from Nakuru. Another says, I once dated this guy. We dated for years. So one day he goes abroad and here I am waiting for him. He got someone pregnant and then he sweet talked me and I forgave him. Then again, he got the same lady pregnant. What? Oh my gosh. And I was like, okay, what is not happening? When I found out, he went as far as telling me, hey, Madani, ati we had a situationship. Walalalalalalala.
Him and the lady is making pregnant. Is
No, him and the girlfriend now have a situationship. As in, you're being confronted. Why have you been cheating? Twice now you've made somebody else pregnant, and your response is, actually, you and me, boo, we got a situationship. What?
Take him at his word. Are you bound at the hip? Stop tolerating this drama. It won't stop.
But there's something I need to ask you about this. This question has brought to light the case of cheating. You know, I think, and I don't want to say it's easier, but maybe there's more progress or faster progress you could make forgiving someone who's cheated when there are no other sort of physical reminders of the cheating. But in the case where the person has stepped out of the relationship and now there's a child,
You're right. You're right.
a constant reminder
And a responsibility.
of the person's infidelity, lack of respect, and now your income together, part of it probably has to go
and
to
a baby
this
mama
child.
somewhere in the
And
periphery
a
every
baby
time.
mama, yes. How then do you deal with that? How does the relationship clearly not go back to normal, but how does it recover when there are these physical reminders every single day?
I think the person who went out, now it's the man because he's making a person pregnant. If he went out and got another lady pregnant and he really means to be with you, you're supposed to set conditions for him, how you want that child to be handled. Sometimes the lady takes over, facilitating, to remove contact between this guy and the baby mama. You see, this one made the baby mama pregnant again. And I'm sure it was in the excuse, I'm going to see my child. Then he went and made a second child. And I want people to stop taking pregnancy so easy as if it is, you can make a lady pregnant by a long handshake. There's a whole process by the time you make a person pregnant. And when people talk of pregnant, I also ask them, did you think of HIV? Did you think of STD?
Right.
Did you think of
STDs.
your health?
Yeah.
You know, this is not a simple thing.
And
So
the other person's health too, because you go back to that person and
You know-
it's irresponsible.
that's the question.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes it's true. And when a child is involved, I want to ask ladies, if you're going to live here and be bitter for the next 30, 40 years, you better consider. If you know there's a child and you're wondering whether you can withstand this, God does not command you to reconcile. He just commands you to forgive. If you know you're going to be continually bitter, no need to sacrifice your life and your happiness to
Yeah.
stay in a relationship where you're always bitter, paranoid, and you're not able to move on.
Weh. Okay. Someone advised me never to use denying my husband sex as a weapon when I'm angry. From her experience, she came to realize that her husband ended up cheating with a lady in the same plot. They are still together. She forgave him. He is a good father. And certainly, I think that maybe is a topic for a different day. But there are things that people do in relationships that are, you think you're looking macho, but you're really just breaking down your relationship brick by brick. So someone else here is also saying, I'm married and my husband cheated on me during our storm phase where we had separated when he kicked me out when I was pregnant. Anyway, and after healing from past hurt, we want to get back together, but he justifies his actions that I was not there. And he's a Christian and claims I cheated but has no proof. And this is making me fear to even go back to him. What should I do? Okay. I may not have fully understood all of this, but there's a lot of accusations basically.
And this person is not apologetic. I want to ask the lady, please, your love in a romantic relationship should not be unconditional, it should be reciprocal. There should be reciprocation. The person should be loving you back and apologizing. So I want to ask this lady to check what is inside of her that keeps pumping love, even when it's not being appreciated. What is she arguing for? If the person is acting like they don't need you, you should avoid fighting so much to be in people's life. If they seem to be doing okay without you, you need to respect yourself well enough to say, I need to see whether you need me. And sometimes we need to tell people that you can be happy without that abusive person. They need to show you that they have calmed down, they have apologized, and they're willing to mend. They're willing to help you heal. You need to set standards to forgive people. If you forgive people on charity, for free, they will keep repeating it because there was no cost to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Finally, Benjamin, as we wrap up here, someone is saying, I'm married for 2 years. I have one kid. There was a time my husband was talking to a certain lady. I saw the messages. When I asked him, he told me she's just a friend and they were just flirting. Okay, at least he was honest. But since that day, he promised not to talk to that lady anymore. I've done my research and found out that indeed they don't talk, but I'm now very insecure. I usually feel bad when he talks with any lady. And again, this is part of the consequence of, cheating. So very quickly, because I know I need to wrap up, but how then to deal and recover from this relationship here, especially from the end of the person who has done the cheating? Okay, so he's stopped at least talking to the other person. What would you advise should be the next step for this couple?
Reassure the lady and give it time. Let it be a reassurance and doing those things that make her know that she's enough. When cheating happens, when violation of trust happens, ladies tend to blame it on some insufficiency in them, while the men tend to think it's because they're not sexually enough, and they usually compartmentalize it. But ladies, they accuse themselves.
Right.
So if it's the lady who has been hurt, I want to ask the guy to win her trust back by assuring her that she's enough, that it was a mistake, that it is not anything to do with her, and that over time you can regain her. But her paranoid behavior is no more after violation of trust.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Your handles, please, Benjamin.
All right. Facebook page, Benjamin Zulu KE. Everywhere else, Benjamin Zulu KE. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. And also email benjaminzuluke@gmail.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here and for that discussion. Thank you to all of you who've sent in your SMSs. I trust we've gotten through as many of them as we can. And with that said, we're going to take a break now as we get ready for our final segment. We're going to have a jazz saxophonist joining us in studio. Maybe you've been a cheater and you need to apologize. You should stay tuned for his contacts that you can go and surprise your babe, your lady afterwards. Okay, 22999 is the SMS line. We'll be back after this.